All I know is we're gonna get in our steps today because, like, I would like them running around all over the place, right? Like.
Hi.
As you guys are kind of getting situated and settled in here, first of all, how many of, this is like your first like official day of summer break, right? Like for you guys?
Yeah.
Like, really, like I'm super impressed that you were here. Like, it blows my mind. So that's really cool. And then I was thinking, like, listening to Kristen as she was talking this morning, I was like, how exciting is it to start your summer with like such like a, ooh, that's so cool. Like, I want to try that, right? To give you something to think about for the summer. I thought that was really cool. So, again, if you're just coming in, you can access this presentation here by scanning the QR code or typing in the short link. It is case sensitive. These are lowercase L's, L between the K and the Z and the L in there.
What's that?
Morning.
Did you get a Chromebook?
I brought mine. You can charge the price. Dead.
Let me get a feel. How many of you are like, man, I love Google Drive. I use it on a daily basis. Like, this rules my life. Okay, how many of you are like, I've kind of been using Google Drive. I've played around with it a little bit. How many of you are, I have no idea what Google Drive is. I don't know what you're talking about, Katie. Like, you're out of your mind. Anyone? That's fair, okay? And that's, okay, so that's fair. I just kind of want to get a good idea for where people are at with their Google Drive. Okay. One thing, as I'm going through this, I have a tendency to talk very quickly. I get really excited. I start like going super fast. So if I go too quickly for you or you have a question, please say, Katie, stop, or hey, let me know. And I will, that's totally fine. I will do that. I know I have a tendency to get real excited about this stuff. So, again, here's all this information for you if you're still coming in to access this presentation. I'll introduce myself kind of while you're getting going. My name's Katie, well, Bradford now. I just got married a little bit ago, so all my email and stuff is still my initial name, so when you see that, you'll see it's not Katie Bradford. I work for 5-Star Technology, and 5-Star Technology partners with Hammond to kind of help provide some support for planning for your admin team, for technology integration and things like that. A long time ago, about a year ago, we came in and probably in a lot of your classes, and you saw us like walking around just kind of looking in your classes. That was just to kind of get a feel for what's going on in Hammond, so 5-Star could make some recommendations for you guys. So, stuff. Case sensitive, make sure that the letters are capitalized or lowercase.
Lowercase L.
Yep.
Try and change this word first.
Sorry. No worries.
Still going next door, aren't I, Wilma? She knows how to do technology.
Feel free while you're going through this, if you're on Twitter, to use the hashtag, tweet out anything cool that you hear or things that you're thinking about as we're going through. Get in? Good?
Yeah, she did it.
Perfect. Anybody look this up still? Okay, I'm gonna kind of move that. So like I said, I'm Katie Bradford. Here's my email, and if you're a Twitter person, here's my Twitter handle. My official title is Innovative Learning Specialist. That's basically a fancy name for I do teacher training and help you as a teacher. That's my job. I travel around northern Indiana and do trainings for teachers in our schools that we work with. So I used to be a middle school teacher in Plymouth, Indiana. I taught there for 6 years. I started out as the English as a new language teacher with no technology. The next year, we went one-to-one. I taught 8th grade language arts for a few years. I also taught 6th grade project-based learning on a team of 4, and I worked like I co-taught with another person in a room of 50 6th graders, which was crazy. 50 6th graders is a lot. Okay, so that was really fun. I've had lots of different experiences, but 5 out of those 6 years we were one-to-one, and when we started using Google Drive, it changed my life. It changed everything I was doing as a teacher. Changed the way my students were learning. So I'm super excited to share with you these things that we're going to talk about. So first of all, why bother, right? Like Google Drive, like why bother keeping it organized? Because it seems like, hey man, I could just totally like throw my stuff in Google Drive and leave it there and never have to worry about it. But if we do that, it can get messy real fast. Some people are okay with that, right?
I would second that.
Yes.
It's very messy.
Yes. Okay, so how, like, why do we need to take the time to organize our Google Drive? Why do we need to learn how to do this, right? You're busy, right? You are crazy busy. I don't know any teacher that's like, oh yeah, all my free time, right? Like, no teacher is like that, okay? So save yourself some time by learning how to organize your drive from the beginning, right? It makes collaboration with your teachers a lot easier. It makes your life a lot easier when you know where things are. You can share it with people better. And if you know how to do this, you're going to be a good model for your kiddos. So when your kids start using Google Drive, or if they already are, you can show them the way to do this, because kids, if you don't know, right, they have no idea how to be organized. Whether it's in their binders, in their folders, in their cubbies, in their lockers, open up a 6th grader's locker and like grab some, it falls out, right? It's the same in their Google Drive. If we don't show them how to use digital filing, it's going to become a problem, right? So these are really important things for us to do. So here's the thing. How many of you, thinking about your desk, picture your desk at school or maybe at home, how many of you are pilers? You put things in piles, okay? Sure, and that's fair. How many of you are filers? You like things in your neat, organized files. You have like little things on your desk, right?
Oh, I like it that way.
Yes. Okay, yes. Okay? These are very separate thinkers. The way your minds work are very, very different. The good news is Google Drive has solutions for you, whatever way that you are, okay? Right now, in all honesty, I am a filer, okay? And so if I talk about things like this, don't take it offensively. I just like my files. I like things to be organized, and it makes me a little crazy when things are not organized. My husband, piler. His side of the office and my side of the office look a lot different, and it makes me a little nuts, okay? So it's okay. No matter who you are, whatever your organizational style is, Google Drive has an answer for you, okay? So the good news is, you're cool. So, inside of Google Drive, and in a minute I'm going to flip to Google Drive. I'm going to kind of move back and forth between this presentation. In Google Drive, you can make it look like piles, or you can make it look like files. You can change the way your Google Drive looks to your specifications, all right? And this is actually really good for kids too, because one way is more visual and one way is more like reading wise, okay? So I'm going to flip here to my Google Drive. So this is my drive, and you're going to see right now, I am a filer. Everything is in a file. I do not have any random documents anywhere because that would make me crazy. But if for whatever reason I wanted to see my stuff in piles more or so, I can change the way my Google Drive works. So if you have your Google Drive open, does everyone know how to get to Google Drive, or need me to show you? Okay? To get to Google Drive, all I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new tab on the internet, Google Chrome, Firefox, whatever you have. Obviously Chromebooks, probably Google Chrome, right?
Over the top.
Yep.
See how it's like a file folder? If you click right next to it, the empty space.
And I'm just going to go to drive.google.com. Okay?
And actually, it's bookmarked on the
It is, yes.
Perfect. You guys have it already. Awesome. Okay?
Okay, open up a new tab.
Google Drive. No, it's a drive. The first one.
And if you're in your email or if you're in your Google Documents or you're in something, you'll probably see these little apps here too. You can always click these, your little, I call them your waffle, your app squares. You can click on that and find it that way too. So this is the way that my Google Drive looks. But if for whatever reason I wanted to see it more in piles, I wanted a more visual Google Drive, I can change the way this looks just by clicking these 4 little squares here in my Google Drive. So if I were to do this right now, this is the way my Google Drive looks. So this is more of like piling, right? I'm just kind of throwing stuff in. It's still in alphabetical order, which is fine, which that helps, right? But for your kiddos, and if you have lower L kids, this is probably more helpful because it kind of shows more of a picture view rather than feeling like you have to read a lot. So this is kind of helpful. Questions about changing the view of your Google Drive? Just one way to kind of make this easier for you to use. So again, if I want to switch back, I just click List View, and it puts it in a list for me now, and all my files are here. Again, right? Now, might be looking at this and you're like, oh, hang on, Katie. I have like document after document after document of presentations. I have everything just kind of hanging out here in my Google Drive, and it's a little bit messy, okay? Don't worry, I'll help you turn it into this. I'll help you. So that's one way that we can help start to get ourselves organized, right? Here's another thing, and this is super great for your kids, right? A lot of times you're in Google Drive and you're like, where did that go? Like, what is that? What did I call that? What was the name of that presentation? I have no idea where this went. I close out of the tab, great, I can't find it, right? And the really crazy thing is once you start getting a bunch of stuff shared with you from all these people that you don't even know stuff's coming into your Google Drive, into your filing cabinet, onto your desk, just like thrown there, right? How do I find it then? How do I actually go through and get the things that I need? Amen. Google Drive. This little down arrow in the top of your Google Drive is going to save your life. This right here is what I used to show kids how to use all the time, because when my kids were like, I don't know, I can't find it in this vocabulary. I did this assignment, I don't know where it went. I don't know where it is. Use your arrow, okay? So if I were to look in my Google Drive, right across here is your search. The search inside of your Google Drive is, oh, awesome, sweet, is really, really powerful. You start typing words in here, it's going to search every single document you have inside of your Google Drive. It will search everything for you. Even if it's not the title, it will find the words inside the document, inside the presentation, inside your spreadsheet. It's going to search everything. So even if you don't know the title, but you know that it was about, I don't even know if I have anything in here on drawings. Okay? Anything that has Google Drawings is going to start showing up in a list. This may or may not be what I'm looking for. So I'm going to use my powerful down arrow, my little down arrow, to do a couple things. Inside of this, when I click this down arrow, this kind of gives me lots of different options. So you could search within your own domain. So yours will say like Hammond, or like SCH, right, .K12, that. So if you know it was sent to you by someone inside of Hammond, you could check that. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's not going to help, right? Maybe, though, I do know for a fact that I am looking for a document. I know I'm looking for a document. So if I choose this, my Google Drive is now going to search only my Google Documents. It's going to basically filter out everything else. So that's really helpful. Maybe you're looking for a presentation. You know it's a presentation. You absolutely know it's a presentation. You don't know what it was called. This will only search all your presentations for you. It's going to filter out everything else for you. This is going to help you find your things. Really great. Maybe you don't know that. That's okay. All right, so we can go back. Maybe you know the last time it was modified. I know I was working on it today, because I accidentally clicked out of it and now I can't find it, right? It's going to show you anything you were working on today. For your kids, right? They're like, Miss Capper, I know I did my assignment yesterday and I cannot find it. I have no idea where my homework went. Great, click yesterday. Now search all your files from yesterday that you opened and worked on. Boom, there they are. This is going to make your life as a teacher way easier, and it's going to help your kids, right? So no more excuses of like, well, I didn't do that, right? So you can choose as many of these as you want to filter, so I'm just doing one at a time. You can search if you know the name or has the words in it, again, if you know what words were in your document. The one that I really like the most is the owner. Who owns the document? I can search by this. So, I know that I made the document or I made the presentation. If I choose this, it's going to only show stuff that's owned by me. So if my boss sent me something, it's not going to show me anything that he sent me. If it's people that have sent me files, or my students, right, that have shared with me, it's not going to show me that, because owned by me means you made it. Not owned by me. So you're like, okay, I know my student sent me this, I need to find it. I know my principal sent me this, I need to find it. So you're going to choose not owned by me because it's not. And if you know the specific person, right, you're like, oh, I know my principal sent me this document. Put their name in here. It's going to show you every document that that person has shared with you. search for those things. So this is going to make your life a lot easier. When kids say they can't find stuff, but they know that their partner shared it with them, have them search this instead. And then lastly, you can search wherever you feel like it was located. Okay, and we're going to talk about what these things mean here in a second to help us kind of organize. Questions so far about using this little drop-down arrow to like save your life?
It'll look in the share with me and my drive, it'll look in all folders.
It searches everywhere except for your trash. Okay. But your trash, so like if you're like, oops, I'm pretty sure I deleted that, not cool, I can go into my trash and now I can search my trash. Okay, and I can search inside my trash too. I never delete anything out of my trash, ever. There's no need to. There's no need to delete anything out of your trash because your space that you're allowed in Google Drive is like enormous. I never ever empty my trash. One, because I'm afraid I'm gonna like delete something and then really delete it and then I'm really gonna be sad about it. But also because there's no need. So I almost never click on my trash unless I'm like, I'm pretty sure I deleted that. So I rarely go to my trash. Other questions about that? Okay. So here's something else too I always tell people. Elementary teachers have this just love for color, right? And I'm elementary trained, but I taught middle school. I went to school to be an elementary teacher, and then I was like, yeah, right, you guys are crazy. Like, you do too many things. So I changed my mind. But so in my mind, though, I'm an elementary teacher, and I love my colors. How many of you know you can color code your folders in Google Drive? Okay, so let's talk about how we do this, because this changed my life. When I learned how to change, I was like, yes! Oh, science folders can be green, and like social studies can be blue. Oh my gosh, I was like super excited that I could like color code the way my mind works. So, yeah. Inside of your Google Drive, right? Any folder that you want to color code, all you have to do is right click on it, or two-finger click, I think it is on your Chromebooks, right? Scroll down to where it says change color, and then choose the color that you want. So, you'll notice, right, on mine, I have lots of colors. I like my pretty colors. Some of them don't have colors. So for example, maybe I want to change this folder to a different color. I'm going to right click, and I'm just going to scroll on down here to change color. And now I can choose from the wonderful array of colors that Google Drive gives me to organize my files. How many of you, like, I think about it like in your kids' classroom, like you always have them have folders in their binders, right? And you tell them to put it in their language arts folder, in their science folder, or their writing folder, or whatever. Now you can do the same thing, and all you have to say is put it in your blue folder. If everyone has a blue folder, put it in your red folder, put it in your green folder, whatever it is.
Let's do that one more time.
Absolutely, you bet.
I'm not kidding.
Okay, so I'm just here in my main Google Drive in my folders, and look, the default is gray. So if I want to change the color of my folders to something else, I'm going to select the folder that I want to change. I'm going to right click. On yours, it's like two-finger click, right? Is that the same?
You gotta do two
Yep.
fingers.
Like at the same time?
Okay.
Yep. And then it's just down here to change color.
Okay.
Okay. Now, really cool, a lot of kindergarten teachers say, okay, my kids can't handle that. Like, if we're going to use Google Drive, my kindergartners cannot right-click. They can't, that's too much tactile stuff for them, right? Great. You make the folders and share it with them. You make the reading folder, you make the social studies folder, you make the science folder, and then they have one that's all the same, right? And now they already have their folders created for them, and that will help. I know a lot of elementaries, they talk as a team, like as a school, and they say, okay, let's make it the same colors K through 5. So everyone is using the same color. So social studies will be blue and science will be green. And so by the time they get to 5th grade, they know science is green, right? And that color coding helps with the reading, because when it says science, now they associate that word with the color and their reading, and that helps as well. Pretty cool. Questions about changing colors?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did I miss like how to make the folder? Because I just have like a list of like my documents, so I don't have anything really like.
Great. Great question. Yeah, so okay, you're like, okay, can you miss the stuff? Like, I have all these documents, and like, this is not what my drive looks like, right? I'm a piler, and just stuff's everywhere. That's fine. I'm not judging you. Okay. So if you need to,
That's what I'm saying, it's just like all there,
Yes,
I wanted
yes.
to file.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you need to make a new folder inside of your drive, there's a couple of ways you can do it. The easiest way is to click New Folder. Okay?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And then you can just move.
You can just drag and drop stuff into those folders then. And you can put folders inside of folders. So if you want to put a bunch of folders inside of there, rock on, just drag and drop them in. Yep.
I have one question because I got this and all of a sudden I can't get it. I colored one of my folders, but you're right clicking on it?
No, you got 2 fingers.
Your right click is, on your Chromebook, is 2 fingers, right? Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Katie?
Yeah.
Two quick questions.
Sure.
Within Google Docs, is it always organized by last date, or can you alphabetize them?
So like when you go directly into documents, you mean?
Or in the drive, either way?
So.
Everything's by date? rather
Okay,
than-
you can choose how you organize them. So, see across here, right under where it says My Drive, it says
Yeah.
name, owner, last modified, file size. You can sort by any of these things. So mine is alphabetical order. I like mine in ABC order, that makes the most sense to me.
Right.
I could click this and it'll reverse ABC order it for me. Okay, so maybe that's not how you want to organize it. Maybe you want it organized by last modified. So the last time someone worked on this, you can click this and now it will organize it that way. So you can choose how you want your stuff organized.
Okay.
Okay, does that make
And
sense?
it does.
Okay.
And the other thing is, when I took documents and put them into folders,
Yep.
kind of like with Windows or with Word, I thought that would just move it and kind of, I wouldn't see that in the doc list anymore. It's now moved into the folder,
Yes.
and I'm seeing it in both places. So I didn't really clean up my drive. Now I've got a folder in the drive, and the document is still in the drive. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you have like the Microsoft Word file and the Google Doc?
Well, no,
or-
I just thought it would work more like
Uh-huh.
Microsoft. So I'm
It
saying
should.
in my drive, my Google Drive, when I moved a file,
So like, here, I'll just make a new one here just for the heck of it, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Oops. So let's say I'm working on this document, right? Here I am working. Oh, by the way, too, people are like, okay, what do I do? I just made this document, where does it go? Well, you can choose that before you X out of here. Before you get rid of this, put it somewhere. This little gray folder, hello, choose it. And it's gonna let you organize it and put it in whatever folder you want before you even leave your document, which is gonna save you time. I tell my kids to do this all the time. Before you close your document, before you get rid of it, put it in your reading folder, put it in your science folder, put it in your second period folder, whatever it is. So that's an easy way to kind of do that. But, so let's say I don't, okay, so I have this document here.
in the drive, still shows the document in the drive.
So now here's my document down here.
The loose one goes in the trash.
Ah,
So my document's down here, so it's kind of free floating, right?
right.
Is this what yours looks like?
Sure.
Okay, so if I want to move that into a different folder now, if I drag and drop this, oops, like let's say I want it to go into my resources folder,
Correct.
now it should move it from your, like, so now it's no longer here and it's now in my resources folder. So it should do that.
Okay.
If it's not, we can take a look at it when we have some work time.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, cool. Questions about that? Okay. Another really easy way, if you're not a drag and drop, if you're like, I don't like my mouse pad, that doesn't work for me, it's really hard for me to drag and drop, which is for some of your like K1, 2 kids, that's really hard, or even like your tactile kids. You can always, I'm gonna pull that back out of here. So where's that little document go? Demo, okay, so here's my document, right? Let's say I wanna move this back out of here without dragging and dropping, because that's too hard for me. Again, if I right click or 2-finger click, you know, I can click move to, and I get this here now. So rather than having to drag and drop, I can just click, and now I can choose which folder I want it to go into and click move here. Or I could even make a new folder if I'm like, oh shoot, I actually need a new folder for this. I can do that too.
Okay, I have a question because
Yeah.
I figured that out.
Uh-huh.
But now it was moving and now it's doing this.
You have your little spinny?
Yes.
Yeah, it might just be that. So sometimes if you close out of it and then like refresh your page, there you go. Yeah, mine just, that's
That happens when you
I think
change
it's
the
just,
color.
it might just be the Wi-Fi with everyone trying to do it. Other questions about moving stuff or color coding your folders?
Okay, so I did this screen in
I did the two finger thing,
Yeah.
whatever, but I still don't see where it says to change the color.
Okay, so you can only works on folders. You can't do it on documents or presentations or anything. It only works on folders, which that's
Okay.
the bummer part.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yep, that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
So, now, here's the thing too, right? Once you start getting a bunch of stuff in your Google Drive, you don't use all of it at once. My Google Drive with 5-star is like enormous. There is stuff in there that I don't even know what it is because so many people have like shared things with me or shared folders with me. I don't use it, I don't look at it, it's too hard for me to try to find it. There's maybe 2 or 3 documents or presentations that I'm looking at on a regular basis. So for example, the past couple of days, I've been working on this presentation. So to make my life easier, I added a star to this presentation. Starring basically makes it a favorite. It's kind of like bookmarking something. It says, hey, I want to know where this is really easily. I want it to sort or kind of filter out my drive so I can find it easily. I used to do this when I was doing units, right? So if we were doing a figurative language unit, I would star that folder because I knew I was going to keep going into that folder for a very long time. And then when we were done with that unit, I took my star off. I unfavorited it because I don't really need to look at that anytime soon. I used to tell my students to do the same thing. We're going to be working on this for a really long time. You're writing a story, you're writing a paper, you're doing a presentation. Put a star on it so you easily can find it. So the question is, if I star something, where does it go? What does it look like? What happens? Okay? So again, if I want to add a star to my files or my folders, I can do both on this one. I'm going to 2-finger click or right click. I'm going to choose add star. And then I can find it in my starred part of my drive. So here's my drive. You'll notice I have a couple stars already. Like this folder I go into all the time, I have a star on it. That's it for there, right? So what happens when I add a star to something? Well, it goes into my starred category. It doesn't move it from any folder it's inside of here, it just filters it for you. So here are my starred things. These are things that I'm working on or have been working on or I access on a daily basis. It just sorts it out of my drive so I don't have to open folder after folder after folder after folder to try to find things. It puts the ones that I want right here and it makes it super easy for me.
Can you only start your things or can you start things that are sent to you?
If you add them to your own drive, you can star them.
Okay.
You can star them. You can only star your own things.
Okay.
Okay? So let's make sure we know how to add stars, right? So maybe I want to star, I don't know, like this webinars folder, okay? I'm gonna right click or 2-finger click. I'm gonna see my add star option. And now it's added. Voila, it has a star. I will now see it. Webinars, here it is. But it didn't move it from here. It's not doing anything with it here, it's just filtering it for me, which is really nice. What happens if I'm done with it? I'm done looking at this one. I no longer need the star, I do the same thing. I right click or 2-finger click, remove star. Now it's not here. It's no longer in my star section. Okay. Questions about adding stars? What happens when you add stars?
So how do you find the stars faster? Is there like a start? Or just,
So like, okay, when you're in your main drive here, over here, you can see my drive, shared with me, Google Photos, recent, start, and track.
oh,
Your stars?
yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I went too fast. They didn't explicitly say that here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, a lot of people say this to me. I actually want my stuff in more than one folder. I want to have it in 2 places. So like maybe I want it in like my language arts folder, but I also want it in my social studies folder because it's like a cross-curricular thing. So I want it in both so that way I can find it no matter what. You can do that. You can add your files, your presentations, whatever, your spreadsheet, PDFs, whatever it is, in more than one place. Okay, so if you want to do that, all you have to do is select the folder or the file that you want in more than one place. Shift Z, put Shift and Z together, going to pop up a box for you and say, where do you want to add this to? Okay? And it will allow you to add it into more than one place, which is really great. So let's try that. So let's say I want to move this folder. I want this in, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open one of my folders here. So maybe I want my Hammond folder to be in more than one spot. So I'm going to click, I'm going to push Shift Z, and it pops up this box here for me. Alright, and I'm going to be able to choose where I want this to go. So maybe I want it in my drive, maybe I want to put it in my resources folder, I don't know, I'm just making that up. Right, and then I can keep adding it wherever I want, no matter what. And then at the very bottom, it should say add here. I think it's because I'm in full screen. Yep, there we go, add here. And then you can move it, and it will pop right into that. So now you have it in two places. This is really helpful for your kids if they're doing group projects because it allows them to put it in like their group folder, but it also allows them to store it in their own filing system, kind of how it makes sense in their mind too. So that helps, you know, so they're not taking stuff out of everyone else's folder. Okay. Questions about that? I want to make sure you have some time to play around here in a minute, so I'm trying to get you through here. Okay? This is the biggest complaint that I hear a lot of people have when we start showing them how to use Google Drive. By shared with me, if I click on shared with me, it's a mess. I can't organize this. I can't do anything with it. It drives me crazy because it's just a bunch of files everywhere and I can't do anything with it. And you're right. I never ever click on shared with me. Almost never, because it makes me crazy. It's basically looking at my husband's stuff all over the place because he does not organize anything. And it's the same with your shared with me. And you cannot organize your shared with me section. You can't. You can't do anything with those files in that section. But, like you were asking, someone asked, how do I like put stars on those, right? You can add them to your own drive, and then it's basically like taking it from your mailbox in the office, right? People put stuff in there. Taking it out of your mailbox and deciding what you're going to do with it in your own classroom. Are you going to put it on your desk? Are you going to put it in your file? Are you going to just kind of like read it? Are you going to throw it away because you really don't care, right? Or are you just going to leave it there in your mailbox because you're like, I know I don't need that. It's kind of up to you. So there's a lot of really easy ways to kind of handle your shared with me. My biggest tip is ignore it. Like, don't click on it unless you really need to go in there. Because if you need to find something, use the search feature that I showed you. That's way easier. So if I show you my shared with me, it's going to blow my mind. I'm like not even prepared for this. Okay. All right, here we go. Shared with me. I don't even know how many files in here. Look at all these people. These are not mine, right? Like, this is just people sharing all kinds of stuff that I don't care about. Maybe I do, some of them I do, right? Some of it I might. But a lot of this stuff, I don't even know what these things are. Some of these people, I don't even know who they are. They've just shared stuff. This is crazy. I cannot add folders in here because this is in the shared with me. It's like my mailbox in the office. I can't organize this. However, let's say I'm like, oh yeah, Kelly, thank you so much. I really wanted this Google drawing. I wanted this. And now I want to put it where I know where it's going to be. I want this out of my shared with me because I want to do something with this. If I right click, and again, I'm in my shared with me, which is right under my drive. Right now, you're going to see add to my drive. This means right now, this does not belong to me. I have not done anything with it. It's sitting in my mailbox, basically, in my office, right, in the office. It's just sitting there, and it's up to me to decide what do I want to do with this file. So if I click add to my drive, it's going to do that, and now it gives me the option to even organize it. Yes, please. Like, right, I want to put it in a folder right now so it's not piling up. Every time you have the option to organize something right away, do it, right? Like, it's going to make your life a lot easier. And then again, I can put it in whatever folder I want or make a new folder. Questions? Or need to see that again?
Yeah, I need to see it again.
You bet. Okay. So I'm going to start off here. My drive. This is like what my filing cabinet is, right? This is my stuff. I made this, whatever. I want to know what people have shared with me. Again, I almost never go in here because if I know someone shared it with me, I search up here. Because this makes me crazy going in here. This gives me a headache. But I know that maybe I want this file right here. Okay? And I want to do something with this. I want to put this in my own filing cabinet in my own drive. So I select it, I right click or do finger click, and you're going to see, oh, I already added my, oh, so okay, this one I added to my drive already, and I don't have that option anymore because I just did that. Now I just have move to, so let me use a different one. So this one, nope, I have that one too. And this one I do not have. Oh, the problem is we have shared folders. Okay, hang on, let's see. This. Pretty sure I don't have that, okay. So I right click on the file or the folder that I want, and you'll see add to my drive, and that will put it there. Okay?
What if I want to create a new folder right now?
Yes! Okay? So let's say I want to do this. I want to add to my drive, but I know I'm going to want to put this in another folder. So I'm going to click organize, and now I know I want this in a brand new folder, so I'll make a new folder right now, and I'll name the new folder.
You may have already said this.
No, that's okay.
Like, per se, I write grants.
Yes.
But I might want to have a big grants, but each one there's a folder inside the folder. I just write grants and just dump that folder into it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm liking that.
Yep. You can make as many folders inside a folder, just like you do on like Microsoft. You can make as many folders inside of folders as you want to. It's totally the same. It works exactly
You
the
just
same.
make the folder, then you dump it inside, and when you hit move to, it's going to come up.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
Or, let's say, so here I'm going to make a new folder, right? So let me do, so here's my demo folder. If I don't want to have to drag and drop it, because I know all my grant folders I want inside this folder, if I open this folder, and now make a new folder inside of this folder, it's automatically going to be in here. So I can make a new folder, so I can say demo 2. Right? And now I know, oh wait, actually inside of this demo 2 folder, I need another folder. So I'm going to open that folder. Oops, oh well, that's fine. Okay, so now, and look, my little breadcrumbs across here, it's showing me which folders I'm in. So if I go back to my drive, I click on demo, here's my demo 2 folder. Here's my demo 3 folder. Because I already had opened that folder, I was saying this is where I want to put my new folder or my new document.
Can you create a document in Word and then put it in Google Drive, or do you only have to?
Uh-huh, yep, you bet. So if you are a Word person, and I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't used Microsoft Word in probably 10 years because I don't even know how to use it anymore, I'm not going to lie to you. So for whatever reason, if there was something on here, the easiest way to do that, so like let's say I do have a Microsoft Word file, I could go to New, File Upload, and this would allow me to choose whatever Microsoft Word file I want and put it in here. And it's going to convert it for you, so it will turn it into a Google document for you. If you have a whole folder of Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or whatever, and you want to move that whole folder, do it! Don't do it one by one. Upload the whole folder, and it will convert it for you. Great! Yes! If you are interested in this, if this is something you want to move all your Microsoft files into Google Drive and you don't want to have to go through and convert each one yourself, save yourself some time. Oops, that's not what I wanted. This little settings, your sprocket right here, inside of your settings, this, if you choose this, it will automatically convert it for you. So you don't have to go through and open every single one. So, because what will happen, and I don't have any Microsoft files on this, on this computer. It'll put a little M by it, or like a W, and it'll say Word. And you won't be able to do anything with it. You'll have to open it, click Convert, and then convert it. And now you're going to have two. You're going to have the Word and the Google Docs. That's too crazy. I don't want both. I want one. I want it to convert it for me automatically, so I usually just choose this so that way I don't have to worry about it.
But if you don't choose that, you could have it both ways.
You'll still have the Word document, and you'll still have your Google Doc once you open it and convert it yourself. But if you're going to upload a bunch, like 100 different documents or presentations or spreadsheets, and you don't want to have to go through and open every single one yourself and convert it, which might take some time, this will save you some time.
But then you still have it on Microsoft.
Yes. If you
Okay.
anything you have on your like desktop computer will stay there unless you delete it. Okay, you're
Okay.
not moving it from one place to another. It's basically like
Just
making a copy. Yeah.
Okay.
And when it converts it to Google Docs,
It
does
makes
it mess up the formatting? Or?
the only thing it will mess with is if you have a lot of like border stuff. A lot of elementary teachers are really bummed out because they have these beautiful publisher newsletters that they send home and they have all these borders. That does not transfer. If you have a lot of pictures it might mess with like where it is, but you can always like drag and drop it or kind of reorder it. But if it's really text heavy or has like a lot of tables or something, it might mess with it a little bit, but for the most part, it converts pretty seamlessly. Yeah. Other questions?
Yes. Am I correct saying it doesn't convert publisher documents?
There's not because there's no Google equivalent to publisher. You can put your publisher files in Google Drive. Like you could put them in there. So let's say like you have your computer at school and you have a Microsoft computer at home, and you don't want to have to like email it to yourself because that takes forever. Email, open, download, work on it, save, upload, email, open, work on it, print it. You know, like all that. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. All you would have to do, okay, is let's not. Okay, you're busy. Let's not do that. Put it in your Google Drive. You won't be able to actually edit it or anything like that, but you'll have access to it from whatever computer has internet access. Like you can access it no matter what.
But you can't work on it.
You cannot work on it. So like, okay, so like if I, and again, I don't know because I haven't used Microsoft stuff in a really long time. So if I have a Microsoft computer at school and I'm making a beautiful newsletter and I'm not done with it, but I want to finish it at home because I have a Microsoft computer at home, which I don't. You could upload it to your Google Drive. You could download it then to your computer. It's kind of like emailing it to yourself a little bit without all that. And it's just saved there for you. And then when you're done, you could always re-upload it just so you have those copies of it. But there are ways around. If you're like addicted to your publisher and you know you guys are getting rid of Microsoft, there's ways around it with Google Drawings that makes your life pretty cool. So if you're going to a Google Drawing session today, I don't know if there are any, you totally should. Other questions?
What if you accidentally put in the wrong file and you're trying to move it to a different file?
Okay, so
Theoretically, you should be able to, do the do thing, put to move, and it'll move, only it's not letting you do that.
So, like if I wanted to move my demo folder, if I click move to, right?
Yeah, that's not what's coming up.
That doesn't come up when you
Yeah, I got something different coming up.
don't get a move to?
I got to move to, that's not
Okay.
the issue, but it doesn't give me a place to move it to.
It doesn't show you any folders?
Right.
Do you have folders already created
Oh,
in
yeah.
your drive?
But it's like I'm inside the folder and I accidentally put something inside the folder I don't want.
Oh, okay.
I tried putting it in trash, but then it puts it back in the folder, so.
So let's say I'm like a bunch of
I'm
folders
not the only
deep.
person who does this, okay?
No, you're totally fine. So let's say I'm gonna go into my Hammond folder, I'm gonna go into my Hammond Tech Day, right? Okay, so like in my Google Drive folder, here's this presentation. I'm like, whoops, actually I wanted this somewhere. I'm like look how many folders deep I am. It shows you where I'm at. This is my little breadcrumbs trail showing you where my stuff is, what folder inside a folder inside a folder inside a folder I'm in. If I want to move this out of here, I have the same option. I can click again, move to, and so now, see, I don't have my options, I don't have my folder, so if I click my Google Drive, this little back arrow, it's going to take me back through all my folders that I'm already in, and then you can choose where you want. Okay. We're getting close. And then you'll have some time to play, so if you have questions, you can ask. So, I just want to take a few minutes here, kind of think and chat with the people around you, thinking about these strategies, adding folders, color coding folders, adding stars, how to search for things, right? The ability to move files. Which of these strategies, or one or more, which of these would be worth modeling and showing to your students? So I'll give you a second, chat with the people next to you, talk about kind of your grade level, think about that, and then we'll check back in like a minute or two. So which of these would be worth taking a look at?
Turn that into a bunch of lives and put your entire life into different folders. In fact, you will marry this.
Okay, talk to me. What are these things, which ones of these, or which ones do you feel would be most valuable teaching your students when using Google Drive? What things stood out?
We didn't even get to students, our whole staff needs this.
Yes, yes, they do, absolutely they do, right?
Yes, it's been set in cluster. What do I can't find anything anymore. My Google Drive's getting really crowded.
Yes.
So you need to come and give a presentation at school.
Cool, so look it up, okay?
Color files is great.
Yes, what grade do you teach?
I'm high school.
Yes, and so I love that, right? High school kids need colors. I don't care if you're elementary, I don't care if they need to see colors. They need to know my history folder is red. Like,
I noticed that files that are shared with me are already colored. Are people all in the same colors? I never noticed that. But you can say it.
So people, you're like in your sharing
Things
with
that
me.
people are sharing with me are assorted colors. There are files that are assorted colors beside them.
That's interesting. I
Okay,
didn't know
maybe
that.
I'm wrong.
So like
Maybe I'm
in
wrong.
my,
Yeah, they're assorted colors.
they might, those are probably in your drive.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah. When people share things with you, even if like, so like, let's say,
They're assorted colors.
yeah, so let's say that like someone shared a folder with me and now on their Google Drive it's green. It's gonna be gray on mine until I make it green myself.
Well, I didn't do that. It's shared with me.
Oh.
And I have yellow, red, blue, green.
It depends on what it was made in, what app it was
So
in.
these are like, okay, so this is a presentation, this is the presentation app, so this is not in a folder, it's like a
Oh,
single
oh.
presentation,
See, I don't
a
even
single
know.
document, no worries. Great question. That's really helpful, right? Great question, right? And thank you for asking that. So what she's asking, she's like, okay, hang on a second, like, in my shared with me, I see all these, like this is red and this is blue, right? This is your Google drawing, like so this means this is a Google drawing. This application means it's a Google document, which is the same as Microsoft Word. If you see anything with like an orange square, like this one, this is a presentation, so like a PowerPoint. This is a Google form. Purple, green is your spreadsheets, like Microsoft Excel.
I need a cheat sheet.
Yeah. And then other folders. What that? Like these are folders, and so they're just green. Okay. Did that help clear that up for you?
Yes, thank you.
Any other things that stood out to you that would be worth sharing or teaching your students to do as they are kind of moving into this digital world?
I think having an anchor chart, like what Kristen talked about this morning, having an anchor chart of the symbols and what they are.
That would be super great, right? Or even just the steps on like how do I move stuff into a folder again. Like that would be super helpful until the kids get used to it. Now I will tell you, probably most of your kiddos, they'll figure it out and they'll show their buddy and they'll be fine and ready to go.
For me to remember.
Yes, right? But some of your kids, those students who are not, like, organization does not make sense to them, right? For me, I was always that kid who had it in my folder and I put it, like, I just was that kid and I clearly still am. Okay, I have a problem. Don't judge me. But these things, for kids who don't understand that, right, we need to model this, we need to teach. It's like our classroom routines, right? Where do we turn in our homework? How do we go down the hallway? Where do we put our files when we're done working on them in Google Drive? Like, it's just one of those classroom routines that you would teach your kids. Okay. So, we have like 10 minutes. So basically, I want to give you some time to kind of sit and play. Go back through some of these things. Make some folders. Put stuff in folders. Add some color, right? Play around with the drop-down arrow and see if you can figure out where your stuff is. That way, if you have questions, you can ask them before you go, and that way we can kind of chat about those things. These are just some suggestions. These are the things that we talked about. I do, real quick, someone asked, hey, Katie, do I have access to this presentation? And so, like, if you're in my Google Slides, like if you went to the QR code or you went to the short link, up here at the top, instead of a folder, you will probably see a Google Drive symbol with a plus on it. That means add to my drive. If you want to add this to your drive so you have this presentation so you can go back and look at it again, do it! Add it to your drive, right? And then put it in a folder that says like helpful, like Hammond e-learning day or whatever. Like put it somewhere where you know it is. Okay? So that's it.
Did.
So we have to go back to Google. Do you already have this open, this presentation? Okay, so if you have this open, nope, you have it right here, actually. So like right at the very top, you have, it's just saying, you can't make a copy of it, so. It's okay, go back, no worries. Actually open a new tab, so it's right over here.
Hey, give me a little bit else.
Take here.
You
Okay,
have to
there's
figure it out.
And then, so right there is add to my drive, and then you can, and now you can organize it if you have a folder that you want it to go into, or you can just leave it in your drive.
I wonder if it tells me how many I have.
Well, I already added this line stuff, but I have to if I find.
Sure, you can do that. Yep. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to do that, so yep, I did say too. So if you, like go, like if you were to, like, click on the picture, oh, it's called folder. It's like, and now there's up to it.
So, okay, so,
Click that, yep.
and I would probably add that to my drive too.
Yes, and actually this is a, yeah, you can add it to your drive.
Ah, there it is.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Yes, they're on the, almost the second to last slide, there's like some Google Drive, Google Docs resources, just like some tutorials and stuff on there.
Drawings on there too?
Not on that one, but if you just like, if you Google how to use Google Drawings, you're gonna find a bunch of stuff on how to use Google Drawings. I'll leave that.
Google Classroom, it's different things.
Google Classroom is where you post things from your drive for your students to access. So Google Classroom is like where you're organizing all your stuff for your students to get assignments or discussion questions or things like that. Yes.
If you have folders and second tier folders, maybe even third,
Yes.
is there an easier way to get into the second folder than by going through, clicking on the first folder, click on the arrow option, and going to the second?
Yes, great question. I'm actually going to show everyone.
Okay.
Another really great question, right?
Type in that page. Just open up page.
Let's say I have a bunch of folders inside of folders and I want like the 5th folder in, but I don't want to open every single folder. That's annoying. I want to click through 5 folders. Don't do that. When you're in my drive, this little arrow right here next to your drive,
Which is,
drop that and you're going to be able to see all of your folders and you can open all your folders that way too if you don't want to go in like 20 folders in a row.
all will, GOO.GL /99.
Yeah, up with
Yeah, I understand, you're trying to access that PowerPoint, right? So in your right, type it in, GOO.GL /99.
You guys, seriously, like I don't, like I love Google. I would take a bullet for Google Drive. I love Google Drive.
What was the background? Sorry.
It's right at the board.
Yay,
Access this
good.
presentation at the bottom. Did you see it?
Were you able to find it, Joanne? You got it? Yeah, I did. Okay, nice. I like everyone has name tags. That makes my life easier. Other questions or things? Other questions in general, maybe not Google Drive questions that you were thinking about? Ooh, all these. Okay. So, okay, I have shared this with you. I've made this available. Anyone with the link can view it. Meaning, anyone who has this link, basically, that I put out on the internet, anyone who has this can view my presentation. They can't edit, they can't do it. You guys can't mess with anything in here because that would make me sad, right? So all of you are anonymous users, but to show me how many people are in my document or in my presentation shows this because you didn't have to sign in to view this. Now, if you were doing this with your students, I would want them to sign in so I know who's clicking where on my documents, on my presentations. And so like when you share it with your students, you would have to require them to like share, like anyone inside of Hammond schools, right, could do it, and then they would have to log in. But because I'm in 5-star and you're in Hammond domains, I just shared it that way because otherwise you wouldn't have been able to access it. So it just shows, it gives you like an anonymous animal to show you who's in your document or presentation.
That's why it's not a lot.
So,
Yeah.
if I have a document that I want to put in here.
Yeah.
And I want it to be view only. Then what would I do?
So, okay, so right now in my drive, this is like your filing cabinet in your classroom. These only are yours.
Right.
So nobody else can look at these. Yeah, unless you go through and actually share it with somebody else.
I've shared it in the Google Classroom.
Okay, so then your students will have access to it.
They have it, what, can they change it?
Unless you have changed the settings. So if you haven't, it's view. Okay, sure, so either you can scan this QR code or type in the short link that's down at the bottom, it's case sensitive, and then you can. Yeah, you can. Other than you can add it to your drive, you can't make a copy of it, because it's, so technically inside a 5-star, I'm not allowed to share that because it's copyrighted. Yes, no, but up at the top, like inside, like, are you in your in the presentation right now?
No.
Oh, okay. Perfect, so go to this website. Did you type in this little short URL here? It's go.gl, lowercase, and then slash 99, capital Q, capital K, lowercase l, capital Z. And that should take you. Nope, no, you're totally fine. Nope, no worries.
Is it possible, excuse me, is it possible to move 2 documents at once into a file?
Uh-huh.
How do you do that?
So, okay, so if you select one and then hit control, and so like, and then click again. Maybe it's not control on your Chromebook, so maybe, I think it is shift, and then try clicking again. There you go.
There we
So
go.
shift on
Oh,
this.
cool,
Yep,
thanks.
yep. And then you can drag and drop as many as you want.
Thank you.
Yep, yeah, you can move multiple ones at the same time. Cool. Yeah, you bet. There you go. I always forget I get so hot when I'm teaching. Sometimes I forget about that.
Okay, you know how you have your bread trail?
Uh-huh.
I want to have a file that's lessons, and then now I want to have a reading comprehension, and then I want to go to main idea.
Yep.
How do I set that up?
Okay, so did you make those folders already or no?
No.
Okay.
I want to,
You
under
have
lessons.
Okay, so open that folder. Okay, and so now you're gonna make a new folder because you're inside of this folder already.
Okay,
So,
okay. So I make a folder inside the folder, and it's going to be, wait, what do I want?
you
Yeah,
said reading
reading
comprehension, right?
comprehension.
Yeah, this is how I sort all of my like every unit that I did, I just put stuff here, and then every year I could just go back and see all my files organized the way I wanted to. Yes,
When you do that, the
I
sheet
make a
yes,
new folder
is like
here.
main idea within comprehension,
Uh-huh.
or can it be separate?
You can make them however you want. It's however you think about organizing your drive. For me, like when I made stuff, I started with like my units because I did stuff in units, and a lot of times it was like cross-curricular. So I would like name the unit title, and then inside of there I might have like videos we watched, articles we read, homework, and then I might put those inside.
Well, good morning, everyone. That's the end of our
So.
first
Yay!
session.
Yay!
Great job, thank you.
You're welcome. My contact email is here. If you ever have questions, you can email me. You bet. Have a great day, you guys.
You should have gotten an email yesterday.